Thor drops his hammer, James Harden drops and gives us all 50, and move over, little guy. The big man is back in the NBA. All this and more on a brand new Downright Sports. This is another Downright Sports, or if it's the first time you're watching, it's your first Downright Sports. Let me introduce you, if it's your first time, second time, or whatever. I'm Brent Reed, and this is a sports show, a web show, a YouTube show that is about sports from a fan's perspective. I have the TV on the background. First time I've ever done that. Anyway, this show is a sports show from a fan's perspective with a fan's opinion. So, take it as you get it. And don't be a hater. Or be a hater. Because all views are good views, right? Anyway, let's kick it off with, ladies and gentlemen, the must-know news. And we started with former NFL star play for the Carolina Panthers and then later the Dallas Cowboys. Greg Hardy has won his first professional keyword fight, MMA fight this past weekend. He won it in 30 seconds, by the way, too. Who was the guy? Doesn't matter. But it was a KO, and it shouldn't surprise anybody because with the anger and the raw venom that he has, I'm not surprised that this guy may actually be a better MMA star than an NFL player. So, good career choice, buddy. Take out some of that aggression instead of on the ladies. Last night, November 5th, the Houston Rockets' own James Harden decided to drop 50s everywhere as James Harden went off for 50 points last night. Had it right here. Here it goes. James dropped 50. He went 7 for 8 from threes, 11 for 12 from the foul line, and he also dropped 13 assists. So he wasn't selfish, guys. He's just balling. James Harden is slowly becoming one of the top 3 best players in the league, or top 4, depending on how you want to rank the guys. I think he's little by little moving Steph Curry out of that conversation. I definitely go LeBron, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and maybe James Harden now. I know a lot of you are like, well, what about Anthony Davis? Not yet. Not yet. And then finally, to stick with the basketball news, my man Greg Popovich has passed Phil Jackson as 6th all-time in the in most wins as an NBA coach. The guys ahead of him are George Karl, Pat Riley, Jerry Sloan, Lenny Wilkins, and Don Nelson. Luckily for Greg Popovich, none of those other guys are coaching anymore, including Pat Riley. Larry Brown isn't also coaching anymore, so he doesn't worry about that. Some active guys that are on this list, nobody. That's in the top 10. So Greg Popovich, as long as he keeps coaching, he'll find himself in very good company soon enough. He'll be in the top 5, and maybe, I don't know if he's going to Don Nelson. It's a lot. I think it's like 2,000. It's a couple hundred. I don't see it happening. It's a lot to get. And quite frankly, the numbers I had on the screen here went away. So go for it. Anyway, when we return, a topic I'm very happy about. This is, what is it? Downright Sports. Check it out. Check it out. Hey, first of all, this is Downright Sports. I'm Brent Reed. I would like to say a special thank you to my boy M2G Mike Myth and my main man DJ Chase for supplying the music for the show. It keeps me from getting kicked off YouTube. So the only reason why I get kicked off YouTube is because I play somebody else's music. Not because how bad the show is, which is pretty bad, but it's because of that. Anyway, today we do the topic, and today's topic is a topic I actually spent about 2 weeks working on, and it's about the NBA and the return of the big man. The big man is back, and if you're like me, you grew up watching the NBA in the 90s, and the guys who dominated the league. Yes, Michael Jordan dominated the league, but outside of MJ, there were bigs. It was Patrick, Shaq, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Akeem Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo from a defensive standpoint. Heck, Eric McCandy, some crap like that. Antonio McDyess, Marcus Camby, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan. The list goes on. But these guys are the guys that basically did what they wanted in the league. They ran through the NBA like they were a knife and it was hot butter. So with that being said, the NBA seems now the return of the big man is back. And you're asking, well, who are these big men? Well, you're not paying attention if you don't know. Because you got guys, for example, like Joel Embiid, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Anthony Davis. My least favorite, DeMarcus Cousins, or the new guy, I could never say his name. The kid from the Milwaukee Bucks. Antetokounmpo. He's a forward, but he's destroying the NBA, and everybody's saying he's the next MVP of the league. But if you look at the league as it stands right now, the top scorers in the league are not guards. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo, Porzingis from the Knicks, James Harden slipped in there, then LeBron James and DeMarcus Cousins. James going for 50 last night, knocked out Anthony Davis, because when I did this yesterday, Anthony Davis was on the list, and James Harden knocked him down. But if you look at that, and you say, well, where's all these centers you're talking about? LeBron James is 6'9", all right, and Giannis is 6'11". So these are big men. And if you look at guys like Karl-Anthony Towns, and who's next up on the list, these guys are putting up numbers and they're making their teams better. Joel Embiid is making his team better. This guy sat on the bench for 2 years as a redshirt, and now all of a sudden is a proven commodity. Look at what he's averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and at least 2 blocks a game. Karl-Anthony Towns, 21 points is down his career average, which is 22, but 12 rebounds a game, and at least a block a game. And Anthony Davis, 27 points a game. He's up 5 points on his career average, 12 rebounds a game, and at least 2 blocks. These guys are becoming the faces of their teams. They're becoming they're not just the faces of the teams, but the face of the league. Now, I know it's easy to market little guys because the common man can relate to a guard that's 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", 5'10". But let's be real, the NBA is better when you got big men, big guys because you're going to get more scoring. It's just logic. The more points you score under the rim, you're going to collect more points. You go back and look at those Laker teams with Shaq and Kobe, they destroyed teams. Destroyed. So now the conversation for the league is, how do we make our bigs better? Well, you got to pair them up with somebody. That's obvious. Because just look at the Clippers. The Clippers are pretty good, but all they got is DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. And, I don't see either one of them carrying anybody. But if you look at a guy like Anthony Davis, you get him a better guard. Like when Rajon Rondo comes off an injury, that team can be dangerous. You got him and DeMarcus Cousins, who are in the top 6 in scoring in the NBA right now. That is not good. That's just bad news. And with that being said, who's the next guy? Who's the guy that when LeBron says it's all done, the torch gets passed to? So initially it was Anthony Davis. Everybody said Anthony. I think it's got to be Karl-Anthony Towns, even though a lot of people like the kid from Milwaukee, the Greek Freak, because he is a freak. He's 6'11", he can shoot it, he can drive, but so can all these other big men. Karl-Anthony Towns can spot up and shoot the three. Joel Embiid can spot up and shoot the three. Porzingis he basically plays like a guard. He's Dirk Nowitzki, just from Lithuania. So guys like Damian Lillard, I know a lot of you are fans of Steph Curry. I know a lot of you are fans of James Harden. I know so many of you love the guards. The day of the guard is over, and the big man is back, and he's back with a vengeance. Because now, let me tell you like this: Isaiah Thomas can't go in the post and bang, but Joel Embiid or Karl-Anthony Towns or the Greek Freak or DeMarcus Cousins, those guys could go out and shoot a three. Try to guard them. Things get a little more tricky now, because that's what everybody always feared. What happens if these guys develop handles? Like Charles Barkley was an anomaly, but Charles is also like 6'4", but he can bang. You look at Shaq. Shaq in his early days could bring it up court, and then he realized what's the point? Let me get down on this block, give me the ball, boom, boom, put you to work. And that's what's going to happen. The older these guys get, they'll realize I don't have to work as hard. Give me the ball at the top of the post. Give me the ball at the bottom of the post. Hey, I'll spot up and stretch it out and shoot a three. These guys, their longevity is going to be a lot longer than these guards, who their only contributing factor will be passing. Because the problem with guards is guys get quicker, they get faster. It's going to look like a Chris Paul, if you pay attention, or Dwayne Wade. Yeah, they were good, but now they're guardable. In a real quick wrap up, if you don't believe me that the NBA has always been a big man league, the top 10 in all-time scoring, 7 out of that 10 are all big men. And the number one scorer all time is a big man. Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All right? So, think about that. You know, if you got a problem with it, let me know. I really don't care. But that's what I think. Movies and video games when we return. Downright Sports. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Movies and video games, my favorite topic, my favorite segment of the entire show. It's my nerd part. I've almost considered renaming it to the Nerd Moment or the Nerd Minute. I'm just going to keep it at movies and video games right now. And anyway, let's get into it. Where this past Friday, I went to go see the new Thor. Funny, entertaining. Had action. It was probably it's probably the best Thor out of the three, which a lot of people say, well, that ain't hard. All the Thors suck. I like Thor Dark World. I did. I thought the first Thor was good. I would probably go first, now it's definitely this Thor 1 and then Thor 2. And I liked them. As far as the DC universe goes, it may be in my top 5 because it was pretty good. It knocked out some movies. It was definitely better than Iron Man 3. And I thought it was better than Spider-Man Homecoming, which I have not discussed on this show at all. I don't want to know why. It was kind of like an Ant-Man a little bit. It really was. It was sort of like Ant-Man, but just a little more action and, tug at the heartstrings a little bit more. My father. But it did just, won the box office. I'm waiting for the Justice League movie to come out November 17th. I'm all over that. I'm going opening night. I'm not waiting. Nothing gets in the way of that movie. I'll tell you what, kids. I will be there like I was Michael Jackson. Another thing that came out this past week was Call of Duty World War II, which I have not purchased yet, which I will be purchasing soon enough as my Twitter is blowing up. I will be purchasing that as I get an Xbox One. My boy Joe Sam's my man, Uncle Buddha, spiritual advisor. Hey, they both have Xboxes, and now that we don't see each other as much, it's going to be better because I don't think Tim's going to get a PS4, which would be a lot easier in my pockets. But we'll get an Xbox, and then we'll play, and then I'll do a whole review on Call of Duty. I think this is the revival of the franchise. Dude, that they were going way above and beyond when they were doing, like, going out into space, and it was just too much, man. It was like, enough. But speaking of unnecessary violence, I saw John Wick 2, and I know you're like, where have you been? Late. But now, see, I used to rank action movies based on the movies before it. So, certain action movies had to be on the 300 level. Uncle Buddha knows what I'm talking about. 300 was the standard, and then all of a sudden here came Taken. So then more realistic, Taken became the standard of your action film. And then, you know, the Expendables. So, here comes John Wick. If your action movie is not on the John Wick level, you don't have an action movie, you have a drama. John Wick 2 was everything you want in a movie, man. Like, I'm not a gun guy. I think I want to own weapons now because of that damn movie. Like, it was just awesome. I mean, yeah, the acting wasn't actually half bad. It was actually pretty good. But I loved it. And I always find it funny, like, you know, certain action movies, when they want to change location, they always go overseas for a minute. Like if you look at Blade 2 or now John Wick 2 or Taken, you know, you do stuff, you go overseas to like some crazy country so you can just blow stuff up unnecessary. But hey, I salute you, John Wick, aka Neo from the Matrix. What the hell is his name? I can't remember his name. Anyway, this has been another Downright Sports. I've had fun. Quick show. At least I thought it was. Hey, listen to my podcast. I'm Just Talking. Yes, it's on iTunes. It's on Google Play. And soon it will be on Spotify. And, yeah, not Pandora. I don't understand why it would be on Pandora. But look out for my podcast. Thank you all for listening, for watching. And do another show next week. Podcast land this week. There's a podcast out, but you can listen to podcasts all the time. All right? I'm losing it. See ya.